6 months ago, I transferred from PS4 and controller to keyboard and mouse and PC. This has been my progress. Enjoy.
Oh my god!
Let's go! Get off me!
Oh, you. Oh.
Alright, I'm ready. I'm coming in. It's okay, just hit one time card. Bye bud. What? Did you look on him, Jimmy? What? I know where I am. These are the bars that they're coming from.
Fuck off me! Let's go, baby! Yes! Alright, what's going on, guys? It's Hybrid here, and I hope you guys enjoyed that little compilation of clips from my 6 months playing on keyboard and mouse. I wanted to talk about my journey in depth a little bit more and give you guys some tips and suggestions on how you can improve and how you can stay motivated during your grind of switching from controller to keyboard and mouse. I want to start off this video by saying that I'm not a pro player, I don't have any crazy stats, and I am by far the best at this game in any way, shape, or form. But I have made the switch, and I have learned a lot in the 6 months that I've played this game, for the 800 hours that I have put in this game, and I wanted to give you guys some things that I use that help me out and help me to become a better player. So, if you are brand new to the progression, picking sense is probably the hardest thing you can do, and the tips I can give for this one is to find something that is about 360-degree turn from one side of your mouse pad to another. You could do this by going into firing range and playing around sensitivity until you find something that you're comfortable with. From here, just adjust it up or down. If you feel like you're missing a lot of shots and you're not able to keep up with people, turn it up a little bit. If you find that you're swinging too far or wide, left or right when trying to track people, or you're completely missing your flicks, lower it a little bit. Now, I will say that it is usually looked down on to have a higher sense as high as the one that you start off with when you first load up Apex Legends on PC. They put you at a ridiculous high sensitivity, and a lot of people don't change this, and it ends up hurting them a lot because they don't have the mouse control to be able to handle a high sensitivity like this. High sensitivities have a higher skill ceiling, however, low sensitivities are a lot easier to learn when you're just starting out, and so I recommend trying to find a sensitivity that's on the lower side of things first. As far as DPI goes, DPI is personal preference, so you pick, I run 400 DPI, you want to pick something that is comfortable for you. Most people use 800, I've seen 400, I've seen 12 at 1600, it is really personal preference. So whatever DPI you use is going to determine what your sensitivity of your mouse is when you're just moving around on the Windows menus and you're scrolling through YouTube or whatever. So find something that's comfortable for you on that regard and then adjust your sensitivity accordingly. Don't just copy a pro player sensitivity because you think it's going to make you better. That pro player has picked a sensitivity that's very comfortable for them, and you're going to find that if you go to 15 different pro player streams, they're all going to have a different sensitivity, no matter how similar they are. Some are going to go higher, some are going to go lower, some are going to run higher DPI or lower DPI. So focus on something that's comfortable for you, that you feel like you are comfortable with, and then stick with that for a consistent amount of time. Only adjust it if you find that your performance has not gotten any better after about a week of using the sensitivity. Otherwise, stick with it, get used to the muscle memory that it takes to flick with that sensitivity, and stick with it, and you will definitely thank yourself later. As far as peripheral goes, you don't have to get a final mouse. You don't have to spend hundreds of dollars on mice and keyboards and headsets. At the end of the day, you're going to get the quality that you pay for. So do your research on mice, see what other players are using. This is where you can actually look to other pro players because they are going to be picking the mice that are best suited for the game of choice, something that has a couple of mouse buttons so they have some freedom for picking keybinds, and something that has very good response time, something that's very strong and is going to help them when they're playing and give them the ease of access and freedom they need to do what they want to do in game. My personal recommendation is Logitech G305. If you're just starting out, it's a really good mouse. It's only about $50 on the Logitech website. You might be able to get it on Amazon or somewhere else for cheaper, but I'd recommend buying it straight through Logitech just because you are guaranteed to get a good quality product. I love this mouse. It is wireless, but the lack of a wire has never affected my gameplay before. I don't notice a difference in wired mouse to wireless mouse, and I doubt you will as well, especially if you're just starting out. It's very lightweight. The heaviest thing that's in it is the battery, and it lasts about a month on one charge for me using it every single day. So definitely recommend that if you're looking for a good mouse to start off with. Other than that, it's personal preference. Find something that you like, something that's good. Keyboard doesn't really matter. 60% regular size keyboard, that is all personal preference. Another question I wanted to address was the use of kovacs or other FPS aim trainers in your progression. Now, these are nice to have, but they are not required to become a better player. If you ask a lot of pro players, you're going to find some people use these trainers, some people don't. And the people that don't aren't always necessarily worse players. Sometimes they're just as good or better than the players that use the FPS aim trainers. It is personal preference whether you want to. I think for players starting out in the first month or two of their progression that it is a great thing to have to improve your mouse control and get you comfortable with using keyboard and mouse. Now, it costs a little bit of money to get something like kovacs. There are some free alternatives. Like I said, it is not required. If you want to take that extra step, there are guides online. Aimer7 does a great kovacs guide that I think players that are just starting out would definitely benefit from, and I used kovacs a lot when I first started out. Again, it is not required, and you're not going to instantly become a better player in Apex Legends by playing kovacs. Kovacs will just help you with your aim, whereas Apex is where you're going to learn your game sense, your movement, how to position yourself, and all these things that you will not learn in an aim trainer. Use it as supplemental learning to help you grow, but don't rely on it to make you a better player because it will not make you a better Apex Legends player. At the end of the day, nothing beats practice and time. I have over 800 hours in this game since I switched in August to PC. That is a lot of hours if you divide that up. That's playing almost every single day for at least a couple hours every single day. It is something that I'm very passionate about, and I'm not saying you have to put this many hours in every single day, but find the time. If you really want to get better, find the time to play, try to improve on something every single day, and put in the time, because at the end of the day, you're not going to get better at Apex on PC and keyboard and mouse if you only have 5 hours in keyboard and mouse and then try to complain that you're not as good as you want to be. So the next tips I'm going to give are going to be for people that are a couple months later into the progression, somewhere closer to where I'm at. Now, these tips can also be utilized by people that are just starting out, but these are things that I had to learn when I got later in my progression. So the first thing and the hardest thing is to deal with being demotivated. Being demotivated is something that I have to deal with on the daily. It's very difficult if you're someone like me who is very judgmental of their own gameplay. I'm always looking back at VODs, I'm always looking back at videos, and I'm looking for ways to improve, which is good. I highly recommend you do this. If you have the resources to record your gameplays, or if you can stream your gameplays in any way, watch them back, see why you died. Don't just say, oh, well, that person had a better gun than me, so I lost. That person had better armor than me, so I lost. That person was playing X Legends, so I lost. These are band-aid excuses, and they will not help you improve as a player. Everyone has their rage moments. Even I have my rage moments where I feel like something was out of my control, but you have to stop and analyze how you could have played the situation better. And if you do this, game after game, you will stop making these mistakes, and eventually you will improve as a player. You will be playing around bad legends, you will be playing around bad loot, and playing around bad armor, and winning in situations where it seems like you should have lost. Picking something to work on every single day, whether it be hipfire tracking, whether it be flicking with a peacekeeper, whether it be wingman aim, whether it be getting a squad wipe, whether it be 1v2ing a squad, even if you don't win the 1v3, you have to pick something to focus on and improve on, so you're not just mindlessly booting up the game, spawning in and dying every single day. So I definitely recommend doing that if you want to improve faster. I do want to say that progress will get harder to notice. When you first start off, the first week and first month, you will notice drastic differences in your aim and your movement and your ability to play as compared to the first day. Your brain will quickly adapt and you will become a better player fairly quickly if you put in the time. However, the longer you go, the higher you go in the skill level, and the higher you push that skill ceiling, the harder it's going to be to notice those minute improvements, which is why I again recommend picking something to work on every day. That way you are not sitting here going, okay, well, it's been 3 weeks and I haven't improved at all, I'm still the same player. You have to judge your own abilities, and you have to improve on little things, and then when you improve on these little things, they will come together to make you a better player in general. The main thing, the most important tip, if you take one thing away from this video, it's not to give up. There are so many days that I wanted to give up. There are days where I get on, I miss every single shot, I lose most of my fights, I bot out and I do nothing right, my movement's off, and I just want to give up. I want to say, you know what, I'm done, I'm over this. But you have to push through that. You can't let those bad days get to you, because everyone is going to have bad days. Even your pro players at the top of their game are going to have bad days. That's just how it goes. There's no way to get around that except for practicing and trying to become as consistent as possible. And consistency is going to be a pain in the ass if you're not putting in the time and effort. I still have a really long way to go to be where I want, but the progression I've made is clear and I'm proud of it. Be proud of what you've accomplished, and if you're just switching or you haven't made the switch yet, use this video as proof that you can switch and make it out better in the end. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Leave a like if you did, and if you'd like Apex Legends content like this, please consider subscribing and supporting the channel. I upload twice a week to YouTube and stream Mondays through Thursdays from 6 p.m. to 12 a.m. Eastern. All my links will be down in the description below. Thank you guys. As always, it's been Hybrid, and I'll see you all later.